Okay, so let's get started now. And 49. Okay. So this
It's recording.
hold on. Okay.
When you say
Only when you save it will be refreshed. Okay. Okay, so yesterday we have seen till for loop, right? This is the for loop. So
Yes,
let me show it to you again. For loop works from you give conditions such as starting point to ending point and increment or decrement. So whatever you put inside this for loop will be executed this many times. So starting from 1 till 10, every time increase by 2. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So next after 9 it will be 11. So since 11 is greater than 10, the condition is not satisfied, so it will stop there. So now let us take a look at the
Sangam, one minute. Can it be the other way, like 10 to 1?
Yeah, we can do 10 to 1 also. We can always either do it from higher number to lower number or lower to number lower
In that
number
case,
to
what it will be? 10 to 1, then how will it be?
10 to 1. I'll show you. So 10 to 1, how do you reach 10 to 1? Only by decrementing, not incrementing. So every time you have to minus 1. So that is a decrement. So starting with 10, then minus 1 is 9, minus 1 is 8, 8 minus 1 is 7. So until it reaches 1, the code will be executed. Once it reaches 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So 0, there is no 0, 10 to 1 only. Okay, there is no 10 to 0. So 0, once it reaches 0, the condition is not satisfied. Then it exits out of the loop. So let us try.
So in this case, we're invoking the application, right? So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter whether it's 1 to 10 and 10 to 1. Is there any difference?
There is no difference, because all it matters is the number of times you're doing 10 times. Either you do it from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1. It doesn't make difference. So the main purpose of using for loop is to do it number of times, but if you are using the inside, this is called index, but if you are making use index inside in some way or other, it matters, because you are using from 10 to 1 and you are using for calculation purpose, it will matter. So as far as the number of times execution is concerned, it won't make difference, because 1 to 10 is 10 to 1. So in case of 1 to 10 you have to increment, whereas from 10 to 1 you have to decrement. So we will see both. So I'll show you how it differs. So this way it doesn't make difference, but if you are also using in some way like message box I, so this makes difference. It starts from 10, then 9, 10. If you do it the other way around, then it will start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let us try to run this.
Just 3.
No, that's okay, that's okay.
But it's not much.
No, wait a second. Okay, if I run. Okay, so when it reaches message box, unless and until you click OK, it won't proceed further. That is the thing about the message box. You have to confirm or click on OK. Then it again invokes login 9. So it's in the same order that you wanted to execute. So it will. Okay, so total number of times it's executed is 10. So as usual, it opened 10 login windows and it passed in the sense it is done. Since there are no checkpoints, it is simply done. So if you want to look at the whole code, right, so there is simply it's done instead of doing it, instead of passing or failing. So here this is whole thing is called just one iteration. So since you might ask the question like, okay, the code is executed 10 times, so you have to show 10 times, right? No, it's a for loop. So you haven't used the data driven testing. If you had used the data driven testing, like here the table row, the data is coming from the table and it will be executed 10 times, then the result will be shown 10 times for each row. What is the result? Since it's just a for loop, it's not really a data driven testing, so hence only one time the result will be shown, that too whatever is done, no pass or fail. So that is the main syntax and usage of for loop. Now let us take a look at the while loop also. So while loop, access network. Is password need enter in virtual machine నుంచి మీ సిస్టమ్ వర్చువల్ మెషిన్ టు యువర్ సిస్టమ్ ఏం లేదా
సిస్టమ్ అంటే
నీ సిస్టమ్ is the password.
Sangam, you connected like all the three systems in network? I want the two systems.
ఇది కదా, ఇదేనా పాస్వర్డ్ ఉంటుంది కదా
సిస్టమ్ పాస్వర్డ్.
Yeah.
I remember sir, think so.
Hold on. Login unsuccessful. Okay, this is not the username again. So what is the username? Yeah. No, still it's wrong. Okay, let us take a look at here. No, I am trying to use this one. Now you log this computer, right? Okay, username. So now from here, the username password is right? No, I want to use the file from inside the Windows is unable to log in. We should correct. I dropped the file in the workbook group. Try answering. Okay. Yeah, okay. Every time I have to switch from the unit, that's the problem. So ఇక్కడ ఉంది ఫైల్, రైట్? File is here. So VMware is here. I want to put it inside, but I have to switch everything. Okay, anyway. So here we have seen the for loop and the next while loop. This will be executed. The while loop is the syntax of while loop is you initialize the variable and then start the while loop with condition, then put the statements inside, then increment or decrement, then end with wn. So that is the syntax. Now let us try to use this inside our QTP.
Sangam, you connected like two systems in network or what? You have like two laptops.
No, yeah, these two are on the network. Okay. So while loop will be executed 0 or more times. That means, so it can be executed or cannot be executed. That's why I said 0. So I'll tell you the difference. There is one more loop called do while loop. So this is a while loop which will be executed or may not be executed at all. So that's why I said 0 or syntax wise it looks like this. So variable 1, let's take variable 1 as instead of this I will take variable from here. Let's take a. You initialize it. Just in the case of for loop you also initialize here, right? So instead of initializing inside, I'll initialize it outside the while loop. So let us start true and initial value. So that is the variable. Where do you want to take the variable to? What is the last value it is asking? So you mention a less than or equal to till let's say 12. So that is the final value, just like here 1 to 10 or 10 to 1, whatever. Now you put the statement here and increment decrement. Increment decrement can be, you can say a plus plus for incrementing, a minus minus for decrementing. So let us put increment a plus plus, and WN stands for the while end. So end of the while.
What if you want to put increments of 3?
You can put increment of 3. Okay, first let us see this increment of 1 and see that later. So what do you want to do inside while loop? What do you want to execute?
What do you want to print? Try to print something or show something on screen.
Paint something? No, that's not realistic. So
Not
let us do something on the web.
Display something on screen.
Web page. Let's display. I mean, realistically, you have to do something on the web page or application. That's what you have to do. Or you can do something else also. Magazine you can do.
Like, for the while loop, right? Yeah. A is equal to 2. Before while loop.
So let us do something like invoke a web page. Okay. So invoking web page, what do? You just simply you want to invoke, I don't know whether it works or not. So HTTP okay, so this might not work, but let us try, give it a try. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment out this for loop. It's going down, that's why I want to use the for loop. Okay, now it's run. So why it is showing? Okay, so the thing is a++ only works in Java. We have used the wrong syntax. So in this case a plus 1. So you said plus 3, right? So in that case you have to put a plus. Every time it's going out of Out of focus and you cannot type. Okay. So okay, now invoke application, that's wrong. You cannot put it like this. It takes only the path. So invoke application only works for a path, that is only the path for the local application that exists on your system. So if you want to invoke a web page in a particular web,
don't work for this web page, right?
yeah, I'm trying to, I could have invoked the same application, but I want to show you the web page in certain browser. So for this, let us use a different method. So invoke application, let me give it one more try. I think first of all it takes the browser explore, comma, but you have to give the complete path. Let's see. Cannot use parentheses. Okay. So that's a calling is subroutine, right? You cannot use parentheses while calling. So that's another rule. So let's not use parentheses. Okay, basically it's looking for the whole path of the explore.exe. So that's another thing. You have to give complete path of Internet Explorer. So let's try to capture the file path. So it's a C program file Internet Explorer /iexplorer.exe. That's a complete path. Now let's give the complete path over here. The directory name is invalid. Okay. Okay, so the syntactically it's not right, so we can always use the step generator for that. I'll tell you about step generator, more about step generator later, but it's one of the utility objects, whereas the object name is system util and the operation method. So object and method, that's method is dot run. So here I am going to give, you can give the full file name. So instead of using web page right now, I will show you the web page later. This is another way of invoking application. So let me put something here and click on OK. So system util dot run, this will invoke some application. Okay, now let me comment out this. Instead of web page, we will try the same.
Know how to open a web page.
I'll tell you that shortly. So let us try this with the different command, system util dot run. Okay, now it invoked. So type mismatch a+1. Now I expected that. So at least it invoked. Now we have to stop here. So while loop increment. while loop. Okay, so my mistake, it's I is equal to I plus 1. You have to basically say explicitly a increased a god going out of it. A is equal to a plus 1. So basically the increment part should contain assignment part also. A plus 1 will be assigned to A. So that's how it is getting incremented. Now let us run. It will run. So it should run how many times? 6 times it has to invoke the application. So first starting with 2, it invoked, then it invoked one more time. So basically it's going back and forth until it reaches 12. See the arrow, yellow color arrow, going back and forth, right? It's checking the condition, executing the commands, and incrementing again, checking the condition until it reaches 12, more than 12. Okay, now it executed. So let us try and see how many times it executed. So however, if you look at the result, this will be okay, so many times because of the while loop. So while loop works. Okay, so every time it shows passed. Okay, this is also because we have used the system-util.run. So because this is the another advantage of using system-util.run. So it is treating it as 10 iterations rather than one iteration. Initially, before we saw in for loop, it treated that as one iteration, even though we executed it 10 times. So, and every time it treats the step as passed or failed rather than done. So that is another advantage of using system-util.run instead of using invoke application. Now, so if you go here 22 times, I mean before also there was some which we did not close. So that is the while loop. So simply saying, you can just increment, put a message box. Instead of message box, we invoked application. So
Sangam,
here,
if we increment A is equal to A plus 3, then it will, yeah, it will also work, right?
yeah, A is equal to A plus 3 also work, like you said, right? So you can try,
Yeah.
A is equal to A plus 3. So if you want to increment not by 1 but 3 every time, so how many times it will execute the code in this case? 2, 5,
4 times.
4 times. Okay, let's see. Okay, now let us look at the number of 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's correct. 4 times. And 4 times it also makes it pass. So that is advantage of using system-util.run. Even though it's not realistically, it's not data driven, because there is no data in the data table. If you are running the data driven test, it will show the data here. But it is iterations. Basically, it's not data driven. It's 4 iterations. You are running same code 4 times. So in that sense, you see 4 different sets of results. For each iteration, the pass or fail is shown. So that is good. So let me also show in the realistically what you do. In the manual testing, you say pass or fail, right? But in QTP, you cannot just open message box and say pass or fail. Or in the if you want to, okay, you have to report it to the result window, customized. Normally, if you put checkpoints, the QTP will automatically take care of mentioning pass or fail. But if you still want to report a pass or fail step without inserting a checkpoint, you still want it, right? For example, you logged in and you went to the next page. So you have to report like successful login, which is not a checkpoint. You're not checking anything, you just logged in and it went to the next window, and you want to successfully say the step passed for the successful login. You have to you want to explicitly mention this login is successful. So in that case, QTP provides a method called report event. Reporter is an object and report event is a method, and every method takes some arguments. So here this is the syntax. Here you can mention pass and step name, which step pass, and the description. You can give whatever description you want to. Something is right, successfully logged in, whatever. Now let us see this example. This is more realistic in terms of your manual regression testing, automation testing. So here what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to input your get input from the user, the first name, and I'm just displaying the first name onto message box. So this is not required for this example. So my intention is to, if you enter Sangam, then I just want to report it directly to the result window that the step is passed and the first name is correct. So like your business requirement says first name should be Sangam, you can replace it with any other requirement. I am just giving a simple example. Else if I enter John, then I have to report that it's a fail. That means first name is incorrect and report the step as fail. Otherwise still I want to report fail. The step S2, the first name is entered is wrong. That's it, end of the if loop. So only when you enter Sangam, then I want to pass the step, otherwise fail. Here you can replace this with any code. For example, you log in here. If the login is successful, then you can report it as success, otherwise fail. So this is a simple code. You can apply to any testing situation. So let me take the code as is instead of typing. So this is the example of reporter.report event. So basically it is taking one line only. I have to read. The whole code is taken as one line. However, it works. If you want to run it, you can run it. Let's try and run it. Okay. Expected statement. Okay, that's missing. Okay, because option explicit is already defined here. Maybe that's the reason. So I have to comment on this one also. Okay, anyway, it's better to take in different lines. Okay, that's the code, right? Now let's so first it's asking me the name. So let me enter Sangam. So that's my positive scenario. So in which case the test case will be pass. Now it will display message box and end the test case and directly open the results. Report event. Okay, variable is undefined. Okay, so this is actually wrong. So here So here you have to put this inside codes because it's now it should work. So now it will directly report it to the results as a pass. So now I got one pass, right? Now let's check what is pass. So this is a pass. I said first name is correct. So whatever I displayed, the step name S1. So in your manual test case, whatever the step name is, you mention step name here 1 2 3 4 5. That's your step. And whatever you say description here, login successful or whatever you want, this is your custom made description. So and that is passed because based on the test criteria, it is passed because that's how I mentioned. If first name is Sangam, it's passed, and what time it's passed. So now that is only happened because of this reporter.report event. Only if you use the checkpoint, it will show the pass or fail, right? That's built in. But if you still want to report something as pass or fail, which is not a checkpoint, then you must use the built-in method called reporter.report event. Reporter is an object, report event is a method. So this is very important. Just make a note of it. I'll send you the notes anyway, but just remember reporter.report event is very important in this sense. Now let us take a negative example in which case the test is going to fail. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run it again, and this time based on the condition I'm going to give a wrong name. So for example, anything like I'm going to give Somo. Okay, now first name is Somo, that is done because of the message box. Now it will directly end the test case and open the results window. This time you can expect a fail based on the condition. Our code says anything other than Sangam is fail. So the main intention of this is to show that how it reports the failure. So I mentioned step 2, first name is entered is wrong, fail, simple. This is how you show it to result. Why you are showing like this? Because you want to show it to your manager. Ultimately you are going to export this result report and send the report to someone, right? So for example, your test case has 60 steps and you want to report for each step either pass or fail. Each step might or might not contain the checkpoint, but still you want to show it. If it contains checkpoint, QTP will automatically show pass or fail, but it doesn't contain checkpoint. That means there is no validation part. Still you want to show pass or fail. For example, login or update order number or something, database. Still it will show the pass or fail only if you use the method. What method? Reporter.report event. Reporter is an object, report event is an object. Now
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Gautam.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just want to... No, nothing. Just.
Okay. So you might ask, I don't remember reporter.report event every time. Even you might ask, how can I remember the other system util.run, because you might forget. In which case QTP provides step generator. So here you don't have to remember anything. If you just want to insert reporter.report event, then you have to, there are 3 types of step generators. One is test objects, second one is utility objects, third one is functions. Test objects contain whatever you want to put on test objects, that means the object button, check boxes, drop downs, buttons which are pertaining to the application. So I'll show you that later. Utility objects are normally these, the ones we are using. The one we just used is, what is it? Reporter. Report is an object, and report event is a method. Then event status, you want to report as a pass or fail or done. Step name, I also entered S1. Detail, something is pass, something like that. So maximum these are the mandatory steps. The image file path is not mandatory. Now what it will do for you, it will simply insert this code into your script. Instead of remembering the, if you observe, I have written this code manually in the beginning. Now what I will do, you insert another step, insert it, automatically insert it on the background. Now you can insert one more step too. So see, reporter dot report event mic pass, mic pass means pass. So either mic pass 0 is also for pass, S1, same thing, it will automatically generate it. So that is the beauty of it. Now if you want to insert another step, you can insert another, just check the insert step and insert. So you continue till however many steps you wanted to insert. So here this is the step generator. So here mic pass is an argument which is like 0. 0 stands for pass, or you can write mic pass. If you don't remember, you can put 0. 1 stands for fail. So simply based on, if you want it to pass, if you want to report it as pass, you have to put 0. That's important. If you don't remember, just go with the step generator. Whatever the step generator says, just go with it. So otherwise, if you know 0 is, if you are writing your own line like this, you can put 0 for the pass.
Hello.
Okay.
What is the 0, Sangam? Hello. Hello, Sangam.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. So hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. So,
Yeah, what is this 0 thing? Can you explain one more time? What is this noise?
yeah, I think it's coming from Gautam side. Okay, you have the reporter event, right? Report event. How do you report event? Using this reporter dot report event. Now, first argument it takes is status. 0 stands for pass, 1 stands for fail. That's the indication. Then comma step name, comma description. Simple.
So how do you know it's pass or fail?
So, for example, I already told you the example, right? Your login is fast. You know that your test case says if you log in with the username password correct credentials, it will log you in. That means manually you check in the quality center or ALM that it's a pass. Now automation wise, you log in with username password, that which we have done previously, right? Then what you do, okay, it logged in successfully, that means you got the next window. Then you report it using this line reporter.report event, status 0, step name S1, description, it has logged in. That's a pass. How do you know it's a pass? It doesn't know. QTP is not that intelligent. You are telling QTP to report it as pass because you know that by logging in with these credentials it should pass, right? Now you understood, right? Did you?
Yeah. So we know, whenever we know that a step will pass or fail, we do this.
Okay. Now I'll show you another
Right?
example. Don't worry. No, hold on. I'll show you simple example. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of logging, instead of doing all this, I'll just simply log in. Okay, let it be. I'll just comment this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll record the simple application. So pay attention now. This is from the beginning. Okay, now I'm going to go full screen. Okay, can you see my screen now? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the step generator. If you forget anything, just use the step generator. Now using step generator, I'm going to invoke an application, right? How do you invoke application? There is a object called system util. System util.run. Then you give the file path here. So I'll just put a placeholder there for the time being. Okay, now this is where the whole path of the file goes, right? Now whole path of the file is this one. All right. So now what is what it will do? The first line. What does the first line do?
It will just it's like a reporting the thing, right?
Invoke the application, right?
Invoke the application.
It invokes system util is the object, run is a method. What it will do? It will invoke the whole application, flight observation. That's what it does. Now let me close. Okay, now let me close.
The whole code is also running, right? Sangam?
Yeah, got it.
Hello?
Yeah,
The
hello?
whole code is also running, I think so. You haven't commented maybe something.
Sorry, what is that, Gautam?
Hello?
Okay, first line.
The whole code is also running.
You are making me laugh. First line invokes the application. That's for sure, right? Did you understand this?
Yeah, that's right. I can understand, but the whole code is running because it's invoking multiple times.
No. I have commented everything else. You may see the whole code is commented. So no, it won't be executed. Only this line will be executed. So don't worry about the whole
It should
code.
run once it's running, but why it's running like multiple times? Like
It was running because I put in a for loop, right? Now I have commented everything. It won't run.
okay.
Okay, Let's continue.
What's happening, Sangam?
So this line will just invoke. It won't invoke multiple times, just one time. Okay. Now after this, what I'm going to do, I want to log in. I want to show the full example of the report event using this function. Now it invoked, right? Now I have to log in. How do you log in? I'll show you a different approach. So you can also record. I mean, I'll show you the recording anyway. So I am going to record on any open Windows based application. So here I am going to log in Sangam and Yadagiri. As soon as I do some operation, it will insert the code and click OK. Okay. Now we know that it is logging in right now. I mean, since we have entered the correct credentials, it is logging in, and after some time it will log in after 20 seconds or so, because this takes time. Okay. Now you have to report to the results that you have successfully logged in. That's a pass. Okay. Now how do you do that? We know that we have come to this flight reservation window that indicates that you have successfully logged in. Now we have to tell QTP, I mean, we are going to data drive it. We are going to enter Sangam or some other credentials, 10 credentials. So it will have to check for each credential and log in. Only if it logs in, then it will report successful login. If it doesn't log in, it will say unsuccessful login, failure. So this we have to automate. Now how does it know QTP logged in with Sangam and Mercury? Then it got this window. So then I am going to tell the QTP that if you get this window, alright, if you get this window, you report it to result that you logged in successfully, otherwise fail. Simple. Now logically think, you got this window means you got flight reservation window. The object exists. This is an object. Flight reservation is an object, right? Simple coding, or you can take any, you can put any checkpoint also here, standard checkpoint, whatever checkpoint. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply stop here. Okay, just remove whatever you got, the trash here. The trash is move. Since I am moving at the time of recording, it inserted all this, so this is not required for your execution. So you remove all this. Okay, now we got username, password, click OK. Now we have to tell QTP that you got the flight reservation window, which is this. How do you tell that logically? So logically, how do you tell? Anybody can answer this question, but I am going to continue. So how do you tell there is an object? This is an object. So now you go to the object repository. This is the object repository. No, I'll tell you. I'll tell the whole thing.
Okay.
Listen to this. This logic is important. I mean, even though it's simple logic, you are going to apply this logic whenever you want, whenever you can, in your test case also, manual test case. Automation test case. So here, this is an object. You can treat the whole thing as an object. So you go to the object repository. As soon as you perform an operation on a particular object, QTP automatically captures that object and stores it in the object repository, right? Now we have operated upon login, OK button, agent name, password. That's why it's stored. Now it also opening also kind of operation. Flight reservation window is open, which is this. That's why it also captured the flight reservation whole window, which is an object in itself, and stored it in the object repository. Simple thing. Did you understand? No questions about it, right? Even though it is not operated, it simply was open. That's why it's stored. If you are going to record the data flight on fly from, it will be stored too. These objects are separate. So the flight reservation hold, the window is a separate object. If you operate on these, right, these, then these objects will be stored separately. That is, it's a different story. This is the parent window and these are the child windows, but it's a object at the end of the day. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So now I got the window. I got the window, right? Yes, sorry.
Sangam, my doubt is until everything you make an operation is recording in the object repository. Yeah, in the first page, in the flight application, there's a login. Until the login, okay, agent name, password. That one is the parent object. And after that, what you made on in the flight reservation, after entering into the another window flight reservation,
Yeah.
and all, flight from, this is all child objects, right?
Yeah, these are the child objects. The topmost window is a parent. This is the topmost window, that is a parent. Whatever inside lies, those are all children, right? But we are not operating about children. As soon as you log in, you got the flight reservation. That's all matters. That means you successfully logged in. Whether you got these flight from flight to, that's a different story. That's the later steps. We are just no. Login is not parent. Login is a different window altogether. That's why you see the tree structure here. Tree structure is login is on the same page with flight reservation. That's a different dialogue altogether. Okay, agent name and password are children of login, but flight reservation is not the children are parent of login. Login is different. Flight reservation is different. Yeah, let me okay. You see the structure here. Login and flight reservation are not related. They are not neither parent nor children of each other. You understood, right? The tree structure, do you understand the tree structure here? They are on the same level, like they are on the same page. This is different. It's the symbol is different. Login is a dialogue, flight reservation is a window. Login has 3 children, okay, agent name and password, and that's where the story ends. End of login story. Now new story begins. Flight reservation. Only upon successful login you got this flight reservation. This is clear, right? I'm
He's thinking that this is child of login. That's it.
no. Just because you got the flight reservation after login, it doesn't mean that flight reservation is a child of login. These are objects, Gautam. You think of these as objects. Everything is an object, okay? Independent objects or dependent objects. Now here, login and flight reservation are 2 independent objects, whereas login, okay, agent name, password, dependent objects, because these are the children. Here under this login it is shown, right? Whereas this is shown in parallel with flight reservation. I don't know how else to explain this, but this is how I can explain. Did you understand, Somo? Hello.
Hello? Okay, yeah, okay. Sangam, what is the report event?
Yeah, I am coming to that. I am explaining the thing before Somo. Gautam got some query about this. So this is okay, right? This is clear. Don't worry about this, Gautam. This is simple.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so now I forgot what I was explaining because if I dig down like this. Okay, now we are explaining about report or report event, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the step generator again, and this time I'm going to select the test object. I told you, remember, I will tell about the test object. Now I'm explaining about test object also. Okay. Now I am going to do some coding on the flight reservation. Simple coding, don't worry. That flight reservation exists. So if this doesn't appear here, you can also click on this and select from here. So basically it was appearing. If it doesn't list here, you can also select by showing this hand icon to the application, but it exists, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, now there is a method called exists. I just want to check the flight reservation exists or not. Thereby I can decide it's a successful login or not. Make sense? Now return value, I want to show variable exists. Okay, now instead of that I want to say login success. This is a variable name. I am giving variable name. Now I am inserting this. Try to concentrate here. Close this. I don't need the object repository anymore. This is simple coding but will be useful in descriptive programming if you understand this. So pay attention. So login success is, what is the login success? It's a variable. It's a dim variable. So if you are not declaring it, you don't have to declare it. But if you do, you have to mention option explicit. I already explained about that. Now you don't have to right now, because in VB scripting there is only one data type, that is dim. Okay. Now login success, I am storing the value of window flight reservation dot exists, which will return true or false. It's a boolean. If window of flight reservation, this particular window exists, this will return true. That means it exists. We are asking dot exists is a method which will check whether the particular object exists or not. If it exists, it will return true. Then login success is equal to true. It will hold the value true. If it doesn't exist, that means if it doesn't log in, obviously this window does not open. That means it doesn't exist, in which case it will return false and this will store false. Now if login success is true, then I can report it as success. That means pass, otherwise fail. Right? Now I got the logic, simple logic but very effective logic. Now what I am going to do, if condition. Please pay attention, this is beginning of descriptive programming. If you don't understand this, raise your voice. If login success is equal to true, right, then what I am going to report it as, I want to report it as pass. So this check must be done before the if condition, because unless and until you do this before, right, you cannot, it doesn't know, if condition doesn't know what is login success. So login success is having two values, either true or false. I am saying if login success is true, then reporter.report event as pass s1, then I am displaying for the description as successfully logged in. Flight reservation window successfully logged in, right? Else means there is only one else condition, that means it's false. You don't have to mention login success is false, that's just else means whatever is left. If it is false, then I want to report it as fail. 1 means fail, 0 means pass, remember. So not successfully logged in. Okay, let us try this. Did you understand this or not? Tell me.
What is S1, Sangam?
S1 is a step name. For example, in your manual test case, this is the third step, right? So you can mention step 3. Instead of writing step 3, I just wrote S3 or S1. So step.
This is a step in the manual test case.
Huh? Sorry,
This
what
is
is
a step in the manual test case.
Manual test, imagine the manual test case. For example, you have an Excel spreadsheet, you have the manual test case in front of you, right, which is a step number 3. You'll step number 1, open your application. Step number 2, enter login and password.
So
step number 3.
This is the format. This is the format.
No, that is you in your project. You are given the manual testers will give you the test cases, right? So you open the test case. I am only telling the automation. Manual test case can be anything. You open the.
I know, but this one step 3 is coming from the manual test case.
Yeah, I am just telling you example. Manual test case says simple example. Don't. It's not complicated. If you can't understand this, you can't understand advanced stuff. Believe me. So you logged in, right? Your login script says Log in with the username
Yeah.
password. Expected result says you logged in. That's what I am doing here. You want to check whether it's logged in or not. If it is logged in, you report it as successfully logged in. Otherwise, not successfully logged in. Let us run this, and I will have questions later. So now I am going to run it. So before that, what you have to do, you have to make sure that this is closed, and increment of timeout period is incremented already. So now you are invoking the application, logging in, and checking the login status and reporting it. 4 steps. Simple, but these will be reported repeatedly done every time. If you understand this, you will understand. Okay, now it will take 20 seconds. So we have already taken care of the log timeout. Okay, now what it will do, it will have to report result as pass. See, now if I open the step 3 is pass, and it showed exactly whatever description entered. This is the custom description, right? That's I gave, user defined, successfully logged in. Step 3 is successfully logged in, pass. Okay, now did you understand or not? Tell me.
Sangam?
Yeah, I am here.
Yeah, Sangam, this is like initially you have written the diagrams of input is okay.
No,
Login success is equal to window.
your voice is breaking,
Um,
Gautam.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, speak continuously speak. Okay, don't go back and forth. Continuously speak and leave it. I'll answer it. Okay, go on.
This one is like login success is equal to window of flight reservation. Dot exist is the method we are using. Like if it's login, dot exist is checking for its login or not, right? That
Yeah.
is existing or not. Okay. So then if login success is equal to true, then you are reporting the successfully login. Else it is reported or reported not successfully logged. Okay, actually I have doubted this code, like reporter dot report event. The initial one is what we call that one, like 0 comma step 3 comma successfully logged. So it's like everything is custom. 0 is custom, like we are giving 0 because success is 0, denoted by 0, right?
Correct. 0 is true. 0 is for pass. 1 is for fail.
Or we can give as 1 as success also, right? Because we are defining success.
No. That is the
No?
QTP thing. QTP says 0 means pass, 1 is fail. You cannot change that.
It's QTP syntax.
Yeah, that's a QTP syntax. I'll show you the syntax because QTP. Let me show you the syntax first. Okay. What is this again? Oh, just hold on a second. Okay. These are all right. Okay, here this is the syntax. Reporter dot report event. Then it takes 3 arguments: status,
Okay.
step name, description. Step name is a string, description is a string, so you just put it in the quotes. That's it. Whatever you want to put you can put it there. But status is either 0 or 1. So 0 means pass, 1 is fail. This is fixed. You cannot change this.
Okay.
You cannot say 1 is pass, 0 fail. That's how QTP is designed.
Okay. Can you go to the code? Can you go to the code one?
Yeah.
Yeah. The step is also in codes and the description is also in the codes. Okay. That's good. Yeah. Got it.
Okay. Gautam.
Yeah, I got it, sir.
Huh?
Yeah, tell me, Sangam.
Hey, Sangam, it's almost 11.
Okay, you want to close? End the session?
Yeah. Sangam, I have only one doubt. Just one doubt.
Okay, go on. That's it.
So, in the step generator, can you go to the step generator one real quick?
Yeah, sure. If you forget anything, always go to step generator. Step generator has lot of, it will generate the code for you in the recording.
Can you drop down in the categories. Can you click on the drop down? Okay. Test object, utility object, and function. These are like three type of things in the QTP, right? Test object, utility object,
Okay,
and
I'll
function.
I'll tell about this later. Test objects are the objects pertaining to the application. For example,
Okay.
we did on the flight resolution. That's a test object. Utility objects are the objects that you can utilize. For example, reporter.report event. There are many, and there is a
Okay.
system util. These are all objects which can be utilized in your coding liberally. And the third one is functions we will discuss about later. In the library you have to write functions, right? So there are different functions: library functions, built-in functions, local script functions. So library functions are your functions, your own functions, whatever you write. Built-in functions are the one you can use it without having to define it. QTP already defined for it. For example, if you want to uh, if you want to uh, change from decimal, change from decimal to string, you can do that. There are many functions, built-in functions here. For example, if you want to convert from a lowercase letter to uppercase letter, you can also use this function ucase. Or if you want to calculate cosine, sine, hexadecimal of some number exponential, you can also do this just by using these functions. If you want to format currency, you can do this. If you want to check whether a particular variable is an array or not, is date, is empty, is null. So most of the all the operations that are mentioned on the built-in functions are can be used without any modification. You can just directly use them as is. Whereas
Okay.
library functions, if you want to use, you must have defined it already. That means these are your user defined functions, custom functions. So these are the functions. We will discuss about these later. So right now we have discussed about utility objects, in which there are some, but most widely used are system util. I already told you what is it used for: invoking application. And
Yeah.
reporter, I already told you what is used for: to report something to the results.
Yeah.
And for example, likewise there are many which may not be used. When data table, I will tell you, this is for the data driven testing, important. Okay, so and there are test objects. Test objects can be used on your objects on the application. This is the application object, right? So I want to perform whether this exists or not, then I
Okay.
have to go for the test object. So test object will take care of it. So we will end today's session here because it's already late.
Okay.
And
Okay.
meet you tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay,
Okay,
Sangam.
Sangam.
Bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
Shala, good night.